Chapter 11-1 Notes, Square Roots. Example 1, find the square roots. Okay, so it wants both the positive and negative square roots of 81. Square root is to find a number that multiplied to itself equals 81. So what times what equals 81? That's the same number. So the answer for that is 9 and also negative 9. And that's because 9 times 9 is 81 and negative 9 times negative 9 is also 81. Okay, the square roots of 169 are positive 13 and negative 13, and that's because 13 times 13 is 169, and negative 13 times negative 13 is also 169. On examples 2, 3, 4, and 5, just find the square root they're looking for. You don't need to find both of them. So on example 2, the square root of 225 is 15, because 15 times 15 is 225. On example 3, the negative square root of 64 is negative 8. Example 4, the negative square root of 100 is negative 10. And in example 5, the square root of 256 is 16. On example 6, you need to identify each square root as rational or irrational. So first let's find what the square root of 3 is. On example 6, the square root of 3 is 1.732, and it keeps going, and it doesn't repeat. So it's a decimal that keeps going, does not repeat, and does not end. So this is a rational, it's an irrational. It's irrational if it's a decimal that does not end and does not repeat. So it's irrational. Okay, the square root of 25 is 5, and it is a decimal fraction that ends, does not repeat. So it's rational. The square root of 35 is 5.91607797, and it keeps going. So this is irrational because it's a decimal that does not end and doesn't repeat. And letter D, the negative square root of 49 is negative 7, and that is rational. Okay, so it's irrational if it's a decimal that does not end and does not repeat. Alright, on example 7, approximate the square root to the nearest thousandths. So the square root of 10 is 3.1622776, and it keeps going. But we want to round to the nearest thousandths. That's the third decimal place. The 1 is the tenths, this is the hundredths, this is the thousandths. Then we look to the right, and if it's less than 5, the 2 stays the same. If it's 5 or bigger, it becomes a 3. So rounded to the nearest hundredths would be 3.162.